Welcome to the K-Files with JP this morning. Good morning. So glad to have you with me again this morning, and glad to have y'all watching this morning. We're going to talk about our Hot and Now. We've started doing a Hot and Now first, a local story that may be going on right now to, while it's hot, try to get some tips and freshen the minds. So JP's going to talk to us about a missing lady.
Yeah, and this is a hot and now. I mean, this is from May 24th, 2024, missing from the Franklin, Wake, Nash County line area. Gwen Bunn, I think we've got a picture right here. Gwen Bunn was last seen on May 24th, 2024 on the 2800 block of Pilot Riley Road in Zebulon. She was last seen driving a 2010 silver Honda Accord like the one here in the photo. If anyone has any information, please contact Detective Joyner with the Franklin County Sheriff's Office or Fighting Crime. The numbers are 919-853-5168 for Franklin County or 252-406-6736 for Fighting Crime. The tag is JCV3541, John Charles Victor 3541. Again, a silver Honda Accord. Gwen Ray Bunn. Keep your eyes open for her. She's been missing for over a week.
Well, so when she left home, now she doesn't have any, this wouldn't be somebody they would do a silver alert. She doesn't have any impairments or anything like that.
That's my understanding, correct.
So, so she left home in her Honda, and nobody knows where she is. I saw something about they were checking to see if she had run off the road into something. I saw that the other day.
See, a lot of times, depending on where, I mean, Highway Patrol, we've stumbled across crashes that had occurred days, weeks, or even months earlier that, you know, you just can't see from the roadway.
Right.
We recovered one out here on I-95 that had, we found it like in the spring or summer, but come to find out it was from someone that had been traveling on ice the winter before and had spun down an embankment into water. And I mean, so it happens all the time.
Well, if anybody knows anything about this lady, please call the authorities or Fighting Crime. There's the number on the bottom of the screen. You can certainly call any authority. But the Franklin County Sheriff's Office is handling this. Please call if you know anything. Even if you think you might have seen her car or her, please let the authorities know. So.
The other thing I wanted to mention, I know y'all talked about it earlier, is a bill that recently passed the legislature, House Bill 834. It passed and it's on Governor Cooper's desk. And this should be nonpartisan. This should just be common sense. It addresses 16 and 17-year-olds that basically they will be tried as adults for most felony charges, and that's like the worst of the worst felony charges, like violent crimes. There is pushback. We don't know if the governor's going to sign it. A lot of Democrats have come out against it. They do not want it to pass. But again, this should be nonpartisan.
But why do you not want it to pass?
I don't understand. It's for violent felonies.
Well, I saw on another news channel, one of the parents, a parent, was just saying, I don't think this is right, because she said he was young, he made a mistake. Okay, maybe he needs to learn a lesson, because, you know, maybe he'll get out and reoffend, and It might happen again if he gets by with it. If they know in their mind that they're not going to jail versus they know in their mind they are going to jail, would it deter a crime?
Well, what we saw in law enforcement is a lot of times gangs will actually go out and recruit younger people
Yeah.
to perpetrate violent crimes because our judicial system is set up in a way that they won't get punished.
Exactly.
And we're just kind of addressing a loophole that needs to be closed. We're not talking about a kid that goes in here and writes a felonious bad check, sending him to prison for it. I mean, we're not talking about that. This is the worst of the worst violent felonies that we're looking to address for 16, 17. They should be treated as adults.
Yes, absolutely.
They should be.
Yes, I
and
think
it should be
so.
a nonpartisan issue. So, folks, it's on the governor's desk. Call the governor's office. Tell them to support this, sign this legislation, and let's start holding these 16, 17-year-olds more accountable for violent crime.
Well, what does our Attorney General, Josh Stein, what is his reason for not, what does he say?
It's
Why
an
does he
election
not
year.
agree?
It's an election year.
Well, of course,
Yeah,
yes.
and people tend to not want to talk about issues that affects their base.
Yes, of course.
You know, and he doesn't support it either.
Well, I'm a voter too.
That's right.
Guess what? I'm a voter too. And, no. Well, I'm not voting for Josh Stein anyway. I'll let you in on a little secret.
I'm not either.
But anyway, well, we can get into our cases now. Let's see what we're going to do today.
We were talking about, I have it tagged here that we were talking about Travis Lynch last,
Right.
missing person. I don't think we discussed Dorothy Hendricks or Linda Lawrence.
Yeah, I think, yes, Linda Lawrence is one that I definitely, and Dorothy Hendricks, but Linda Lawrence I really wanted to talk about. We have talked about that case in the past a lot, and I just wish that could be solved, but
Because that was
anyway.
right over here, wasn't it?
Yes, Okay,
All right. Linda Williams Lawrence. Linda Williams Lawrence. This case is from June 13th, 1996.
I didn't realize it was that old.
Yeah, I knew it
Wow,
had
how
been
you
a
gonna
while.
solve something from that? It's just, that's
And you know, like we say, I mean, the longer time passes,
yeah, and that's
things
a
get
lot.
harder and harder and harder to kind of bring closure to or address. That's why it's important. I
Well,
mean,
sometimes it starts weighing on people's mind,
It
like we
does.
said earlier in another show. It starts weighing on their mind, their conscience. Say, I know about this. I need to just say something. So sometimes that happens. But
and
anyway,
do it anonymously.
yeah, absolutely.
Linda Williams Lawrence left a private swimming pool in the High Meadows neighborhood of Rocky Mount at 8:30 p.m. June 13th, 1996, and was never seen or heard from. She was 45 years old at the time and had a butterfly tattoo on her left hip. She was wearing a pink bathing suit, a black t-shirt, and white sandals. Her black and silver full-size 1984 Ford pickup truck that she was driving was found later at Meadowbrook Park with the keys and her personal belongings still inside. Police found no signs of foul play in the truck, but Linda was never seen again. So for her to, for the vehicle to have been found and personal items and things like that of value left behind, clearly robbery was not a motive.
No, it was somebody she knew that she apparently was meeting. She was way across town. Golly, from High Meadows, which is over here off of Gold Rock Road, way over there to Meadowbrook Road. So, I mean, that's, not a long ways, but I mean, it's across town. She was obviously meeting somebody. And I remember there had been some drug issues with her. I remember when Lyndall was on the show, I think there had been some suspicion that she had been maybe involved with something like that. So anyway, never to be seen again, but her truck was right over there in Meadowbrook Park. So
This case is almost 30 years old.
yeah, I mean, and her mother, I remember Lyndall saying her mother, he talked to her mother. Her mother was very sad. Her mother was just, she said, before I die, I just want this case solved. I just want to know what happened to my daughter. That happened so many times. And I think since that, since he talked to her, she did pass away, the mother. So, because you got to figure 1996 and the mother was already, so anyway, that's a sad case that the mother did not get to even know what happened to her daughter. Did not get closure before she passed away, and that's sad. Okay?
All right. Do you want to take a break before we go into the next
Yeah, I
one?
guess it is break time. Yeah, we'll be right back right after this. And welcome back to the K-Files. In case you have lived under a rock, as we say, the K-Files is a program that's under a great organization, Team Cold Case, that is a nonprofit, and we have raised money in the past, and we'll have another fundraiser next year, but there's $15,000 in the pot. And if you give us a tip and it pans out and law enforcement makes an arrest, then you can get up to $15,000, imagine, in cash money. That's how it works. So you want cash, you want to get paid, and it is anonymous. And there are various ways that you can do this. You can call the number on the bottom of the screen, you can call Crime Stoppers, or you can call a local agency, whether it be Rocky Mount, the Sheriff's Departments, whoever you have to call. But there's Crime Stoppers right there, 977-1111. So anyway, please let somebody know. Our mission, we say all the time, is number one, to get people off the street, make an arrest, and solve these cases. That's why we developed the program, to solve these cases. And number two is to give families closure. Back when we developed this program, we saw how many unsolved murders there are in our area, and missing persons in our area too, which is what we're talking about right now. So we need your help. The public is the best resource to solve a crime. I mean, you really are the best resource. Somebody knows something about every crime. I mean, I know you know something. So say something. But people are so, JP, they're so hesitant to say something.
They are.
So, for various reasons. So people don't want to get involved. They say, oh, I don't want to get involved. I don't want, I don't want to be a snitch. I don't want them coming after me. All kinds of reasons. But I just think it's our duty to, if we know something, we need to say something, or we see something, we need to say something. So with that, I'll let JP continue.
I will tell you this real quick. A lot of folks don't understand how the judicial system works. Bailey just had a recent homicide, and there were some people questioning me like, hey, how could the sheriff let this man out? I said, hold, stop. The sheriff does not release anybody.
Exactly.
Law enforcement is in the business of putting handcuffs on people.
Right.
The judicial system itself, magistrates, judges, and things like that,
right,
they set the conditions of release, and I want the public to understand that. So please understand, the sheriff locks folks up, judges and magistrates let them out.
Well, do you know how disappointed a sheriff, a highway patrol, a whatever it is, police officer, do you know how disappointing it is for you to risk your life to lock these people up and go after some of these people in dangerous situations just to find out they're out?
Most of
They're
the time,
already out?
when we would take people to Nashville, before I could finish doing my paperwork in the parking lot, they would be leaving.
Yeah.
Somebody would be there picking them up.
Unbelievable.
But I mean,
Yeah.
it's just somebody told me a long time ago. They said, "JP, don't let it bother you. You did your job. You did what you were supposed to do."
That's
That's
right.
the truth. The other thing is, I think last week when this homicide come out around Bailey, because of staffing issues, again, no fault of the sheriff's, he's got 20 vacancies and he's having to make it work.
Yeah.
They had 4 deputies on patrol. They had a deputy involved shooting at Spring Hope when this homicide
Yes.
came out.
Right.
And, within hours, just a few hours,
Yes.
the sheriff was there putting handcuffs on this murder suspect.
Right.
And my hat is off to him. That's quick,
That's
fast,
right.
and in a hurry.
And mind you, he told the story at the meeting, at the National Commissioner meeting, that his arm was in a sling, or his hand was in a cast, a little bandage. He had had surgery. And I knew the sheriff had had some surgery on his hand. And the doctor told him not to, to keep it up and not take it out of the sling and just keep it elevated and don't be moving around too much. And he said, what did I do? I did what I had to do. I took it out of the sling and I went. So, I mean, that in itself right there shows dedication on the sheriff's part. I mean, he's going to be there when something happens in his county like that, or other counties too. Now, I've known him to be in Halifax County many a time, or in Edgecombe County with an assist to Clee Atkinson or the sheriff in Halifax County as well. So, I mean, if it's in his county, he's going. If it's big time. Like that.
The WREL captured video, and so did Fight Crime, of the sheriff out there on his knees with family members praying in the grass just outside the yard area of the murder victim. And, that is...
Goodness.
That is very, that is typical of Sheriff Stone.
Yeah, it really
good
is.
guy. Sheriff,
Yes.
what you're doing, keep up the good work, keep doing what you're doing.
That's right.
The next case that we're going to talk about this morning is Dorothy Mae Hendricks. Dorothy Mae Hendricks. This case is from December 13th, 2002. On December 13th, 2002, at approximately 11:55 a.m., Dorothy Mae Hendricks was reported missing by her mother from 1735 Martin Luther King Jr. Parkway in Wilson. Hendricks is a black female that was 38 years old at the time of the report. She had a light complexion with brown eyes and black hair, and she was around 5 feet 1 inches tall and weighing around 170 pounds. On December 5th, 2002, she was wearing a long black sweater, blue jeans, black boots, and walked away from the former Woodard's Motel towards Ward Boulevard on US 301, where she got a ride to Trade Mart number 11, which is a convenience store at Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard and Ward Boulevard in Wilson. She was last seen in the 100 block of Tusky Street near the convenience store at around 8 o'clock p.m. She was never heard from again. Hendricks has relatives in Elm City and Rocky Mount. It was uncharacteristic for her to drop out of sight. She always maintained contact with her family. The person who gave her a ride to the store that day when she vanished has been interviewed and is not considered a suspect in her disappearance. Her case remains unsolved to this day.
Well,
they've got an excellent timeline of events. I
they
will say
really
that.
do. They really do.
A lot of information made public.
Well, here's another case where the family has said she wouldn't have done this. She always contacted us. And, you know, they talked frequently, apparently. So the family knew immediately that something was amiss. And so, you know, and this is another episode where the convenience store comes into play, like the one in Roanoke Rapids, the case we talked about last week. But nobody around the convenience store can tell you anything. Here goes another case that, you know, or they won't say anything if they knew anything. But yet, if she got in the car with somebody at the convenience mart, they're not going to know anything. How are they going to know? I mean, people coming and going and getting in cars all day at a convenience mart.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, or night. This happened at night, but I don't know.
Yeah, it was good and dark, December.
Yeah, 8 o'clock.
At 8 o'clock.
Right. So if you know anything about Dorothy Mae Hendricks, 2002, December, if you know anything about this case, please call the authorities. Please call the Wilson, I guess it would be the Wilson Police Department, because it would be in town. Martin Luther King Drive is in town. So she just vanished. And her family doesn't understand why, because she contacted them quite often, so they don't understand why, what happened. So, all right.
And that was the last missing person case.
So I guess we'll move now into our unsolved murder cases. I guess we can go backwards if you want to.
All right.
Just start there.
All right. This next case is that of Sierra Webb. Sierra Webb.
She's a pretty girl.
Yes, she is. I was just thinking the same thing. It's from November 13th, 2022. On November 13th, 2022, Halifax County Sheriff's Office responded to multiple shots fired at a bonfire party on Green Acres Road in Enfield. When they arrived, they found several people injured from gunfire and Sierra Webb that was shot and killed inside the party area. There were over 700 people in attendance at that party, and no one is speaking. No one saw anything.
This was from 2022, and I remember this. I remember this in the news, and I remember us talking about it when it was kind of fresh. 700 people now. This is another one of these cases like Pine Tops. Had all these people standing around when it was a drive-by and nobody knew, won't come forward. 700 people at a party.
Yeah.
Nobody knows anything? I mean, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's disheartening as a law enforcement officer. You pull up on the scene and you would automatically assume, look, we're going to have, we're going to have some pretty good information here.
Yeah. Got a lot of witnesses.
700 witnesses here.
Yeah.
We're going to have, look, and you can't get suspect information, direction of travel, vehicle description, nothing.
Nothing.
Well,
Green Acres Road in Enfield, if anybody knows anything, and I understood that this guy had these parties from when Linda was here. I remember him saying this guy had parties all the time at his place. And so anyway, I guess it was parties that people attended frequently. I don't know if she had ever been before to that location, but
and I guarantee she was an innocent bystander.
Yeah, probably so. Just probably went to the party to have some fun. And was shot and killed inside the party area. So, if you know anything, November of 22, if you know anything, please call 406-6736, Enfield Police Department, Halifax Sheriff's Department, whoever you want to call, but please call and give us some tips, some leads. They need it really bad. to solve this case. They need to solve this case. Sierra Webb is the name. So, okay, we got to go to another break. It's flying by. We'll be right back right after this. Okay, and welcome back to the K-Files. I hope you're, and I do thank people for the comments that you make about we had somebody call in the other day about how much they enjoy the program, watch the program. You can watch it again if you missed it, and you say, oh, I got to leave and go to the doctor. I've got to leave and go do this. Oh, I'm going to miss the K-Files. That's okay, because you can watch it again Friday night at 7 o'clock. Or you can watch it on YouTube. It's always there. Because we want people in other areas. You know, we had a case in Florida. A lady in Florida saw it on YouTube, called Edgecombe County Sheriff's Department and said, this picture that you're putting out and this name that you're putting out is down the street from me. I'm in Florida. He lives down the street from me. Can you believe that? They called Florida. They made an arrest in Florida. The police department in Florida went and got him. He was extradited after 2 or 3 weeks. You know, it takes time. Extradited back here. And, you know, there you go.
That's good
Solved the
stuff.
case. So it's important that it be on YouTube. So you can watch it several different ways. And if you know somebody that you know knows something about a crime, encourage them to come forward, because it is anonymous. It is. The police departments, the law enforcement departments will protect you. So please,
They
as
need
we
all the
say,
help they can get.
They do. They really do. And as they say, we said this a while ago, you are the best resource
That's right.
to make an arrest.
This next case is Tanaja Cherry. It's from October 23rd, 2022. On Sunday, October 23rd, 2022, Edgecombe County Sheriff's Office responded to a shots fired call on Thigpen Road in Canita. When they arrived, they found 2 people had been shot. Tanaja Cherry had been killed. Again, October 23rd, 2022.
Not
Shots
as
fired
much
call.
information in this case. We don't have as much information as we have on some of the ones. We've had some pretty good information on some of the past cases, the missing persons, but this one don't have a whole lot. It's very limited information.
Yeah.
So, but Tanaja Cherry, as JP said, if you know anything, Thigpen Road in Canita. And Canita, you know what? Canita is a small community, very small community. So you know that people are talking because everybody knows everybody. It's one of those communities.
Crossroads community.
Yes, so you know somebody knows something about this case. And it's 2022, so it should be halfway fresh in the mind. But you know what? If you ever witnessed anything like this, you'll remember it. You will remember it. There might be a few details that you don't quite remember, but you'll remember it. So
This next one is LaMichael Everett. LaMichael Everett from October 23rd, 2022. On Sunday, October 23rd, 2022, at around 3 a.m., the Edgecombe County Sheriff's Office responded to the call of a male subject that had been shot off Tolbert Road, Tolbert Place in Princeville. When deputies arrived on the scene, they found a male suffering from a gunshot wound. He passed away from his injuries. That's the exact same date as the other one.
right, LaMichael Everett, October 22. Yeah, and Princeville again is another. You just drive through there and you're out of it before you get into it. So another small community. So if you know anything, we know somebody knows something. Off Tolbert Place in Princeville, call the Edgecombe County Sheriff's Office. And I'll even give you the number, 641-7931. got that on speed dial because I used to have to call my brother-in-law all the time, so I know their number. But anyway, or either call 406-6736, or you can call Twin County Crime Stoppers at 977-1111. Whatever you have to do, but please call somebody about LaMichael Everett, because in Princeville, it's another small community, and we know somebody knows something. And the next case, we don't hardly have any information.
Nothing. The next two, actually, Melito Armstrong. This case is from August 7th, 2022. Melito Armstrong, who was 17, was at a party on Lonesome Pine Road in Whitakers when he was shot and killed. There were hundreds of people at the party, and no one is saying a word about the incident.
Ditto from the previous case. These parties, I mean, you know somebody knows something.
I mean, I can see, you not wanting to really converse with law enforcement, and there's 99 people looking at you. I get it. But there's no reason that you don't call anonymously and share the information that you know that you might have.
Boy, they're really having some parties in Whitakers and Enfield, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, one party with 700, one party with 100. That's a party sure enough.
And it makes you wonder, out of 700 people, who were you going after? And like you said earlier, somebody in a case like that is going to get shot that's totally innocent.
Mm-hmm.
When they're,
Somebody didn't get invited to the party.
Right. Okay, if you know anything about Melito Armstrong, then please let us know. So,
this next one is one sentence. LaShawn Evans. This case is from April 3rd, 2022. LaShawn Evans was killed while in her home during a drive-by shooting on Middle Street in Rocky Mount.
Drive-by shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Middle Street is, I don't really know which street it is, but it's one of the streets off of Sunset. Like Pine Street, but it's closer up to downtown. I know that. It's back towards downtown, but it crosses Sunset Avenue. That's where Middle Street is. So,
and she probably wasn't the target.
Probably not. I mean, she was just in her house.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we don't know who else was in the home, but they were looking for somebody, apparently, or trying to target somebody.
Senseless.
In the house. Yes, it is. Okay, well, I guess we'll stop there. This is the end, and I will not be with you next week, but JP does a great job of filling in, and we don't know who his co-host will be, but he'll have one or two. We never know.
I will.
But we have, I think you have a pool of people that you can pull from. Who is the Nashville police chief now?
They don't have one.
They don't. That's what I was thinking in my mind. I said they don't have one, do they?
They've actually tasked the fire chief of being the chief of both departments.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
For just temporary?
Just temporary.
Just
so
temporary.
I've been told.
So they're looking for a police chief in Nashville. That's what I thought. I kept thinking to myself, did they ever bring in a police chief? But no, I guess they did not. So anyway, JP will be with you next week. Make it a great day, everybody, and a great week. And he will see you next week on the K-Files.